So back in 2023, I uploaded a TikTok every single day. It was sort of just like a video journal to track my progress throughout the year and be able to have memories to look back on. And there's a lot that I learned through that process. The biggest one being that I want to make more cohesive content and more cohesive videos and projects. And while I had fun editing some of the clips and short videos, the rush to put them out daily really hindered my creative process. And I really wanted to make something with more of a story, an idea, a vision, and not just like random clips throughout the day. So that's leading to the birth of this video and maybe this whole channel. We'll see. I'm making the move to YouTube not only because the existence of TikTok is in limbo, but because I'm pretty long winded and I like to talk a lot and get into the details of things. I appreciate complexity and nuance, and that's something that's hard to do with the average TikTok attention span. I'm not really built for quick and simple videos that can be digested in under a minute or so. But trust me, it's not because I don't consume them. I gobble that shit up, don't get me wrong, but it isn't something that I want to put out into the world. I need to get out like a whole thought. I need something to feel finished. And I think working with less of a time limit on the videos is certainly something that's going to help me. So before I get into the main topic of the video, just know that not all of my content is going to be like this. I plan on doing more talking to camera stuff and recording the process of me learning a new skill or exploring a new spot or whatever. But I like the vibe of just talking over casual training footage. The majority of parkour and the majority of what I do is the less flashy stuff. So to me, it feels a lot more genuine. These repetitions are like what get my skills and what help develop my skills. So the clips of like a single move or a single line is just like the culmination of many hours of practice basics and fundamentals. I think deep down we all sort of know that, but it can get lost when we do see those impressive one-off clips online. And that's sort of tangentially related to what I wanted to talk about, which is the presentation of something small and impactful without recognition of all the work and thoughts behind it. I've been having conversations with a good friend of mine recently, and I've been thinking about all the uses of quotes. And before I continue, this isn't to throw shade at anyone who likes or uses quotes. It's just my personal perspective and an explanation of where I'm coming from. Cut right to the chase. My biggest issue or concern with them is that I feel they're a shortcut for more significant and detailed thought. Sort of how, like, when you see those small clips on the internet, it's really easy to ignore all the practice behind them. Now, don't get me wrong, I was into poetry for a long time and still have an appreciation for it. To this day, I still sometimes write my own little one liners that are good at describing bigger ideas and flow well and sound complex. But that's just the thing. Without the context, it can be hard to derive significant meaning from just a small sentence or two. Now, maybe this is just more of a commentary on society itself rather than the nature of positive or inspirational or intellectual quotes. The use of them in a superficial way or just misunderstanding or misrepresenting them is where I have the issue. I think societally we have gotten to the point where information is so readily available and accessible that we're too busy trying to remember as much as we can instead of teaching or thinking about how we can use it. Critical thinking skills are not something that's easily taught, but I think more effort needs to go into it. This isn't to say that critical thinking skills aren't being taught, they certainly are. But it kind of reminds me about how older people are having a hard time with how the kids are doing math nowadays and how they don't understand why they can't just memorize times tables and long division. I think it's because there's a shift in how math is seen. There's been a transition into understanding how math works and creating better number sense, so that mental math is quicker and the processes are a lot more easily understood rather than just brute force memorization. And with this method, mathematic processes can be scaled to be able to handle bigger numbers or decimals, but at the same level of accuracy and understanding. At the end of the day, math is a process and memorizing can help, but it is very limited. Having a more optimized process is better than having a larger stored memory bank. Like memorizing a recipe is great, but if you don't know how to scale it up or down or alter it to your needs, you're not that great at cooking. I think something similar is happening with quotes, and maybe to a bigger extent, knowledge and wisdom. Breaking things down into smaller pieces can certainly make it digestible. I do it all the time. I could find thousands of quotes from great thinkers and researchers to make myself seem smart, but it's very surface level. I can memorize my times tables, but let's say I have 14 kids at summer camp and I want to get them a treat and I get 100 donut holes. I'll be reaching for a calculator to see how many to give each kid. That mental math process needs to be strong in that situation. And I think it's the same for quotes or small pieces of knowledge. Like I could memorize Newton's laws of physics, right? But that won't help me apply them in my teaching or even the flips and jumps that you're seeing in this video. Of course, this isn't a one size fits all type of thing. Wine Moms posting live, laugh, love quotes on Instagram has nowhere near the impact of some politician or professor quoting some unverifiable information. So, not every instance is harmful and serious, but I think a lot of people fall into the trap of reading a couple sentences and leaving it at that with no further thought, application, or critical thinking. Not every little thing you see needs hours and hours of reflection, but if something resonates with you, I think it's important to dig a little deeper to find out why or try to expand upon it. I'm hoping I didn't come off too judgy here. Really, this is just my observation of something that's going on in the world and how I see it. I know I don't have the capacity to change the world and current hegemonic structures and how we as a society see knowledge and wisdom as a whole, but I hope I can at least give those around me something to think about. Just a little snack for their brain to chew on for a little bit. There's no singular bit of wisdom that is going to make you a genius, and no singular class is going to make you an expert at anything. We're good at the things we're good at because of the culmination of our experience, and that experience allows us to reflect and use our knowledge, not just to collect it to add to some memory bank. That's it for today. I hope you like the flips and were able to take something away from this. Just my perspective. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.